Men, if your wife has started exhibiting certain behaviors, she may have already been unfaithful. As a woman, I can tell you what most women would never openly admit. These 6 attitudes consistently expose us. If you observe at least 3 of them, brothers, you need to be aware of the truth. We believe we are expert manipulators when we cheat, capable of compartmentalizing our secret lives from our home lives. However, our bodies betray us. Our energy shifts, our priorities change, and if you know what to look for, the signs are as clear as a neon guilty sign. Before we dive in, hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me what city you are watching from today. This information could save your heart from being shattered into pieces. Because what I'm about to share isn't just theory. This is real-world psychology. This is female behavior decoded. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. See, here's what most men don't understand about female psychology. When a woman cheats, it's not just a physical act, it's an emotional earthquake that shifts everything about how she operates. Her priorities change, her energy changes. When a wife cheats, her entire perception of reality shifts, and these changes are evident to those who know what to look for. Often men are too emotionally involved to see clearly, blinded by love, trust, and the tendency to make excuses. However, understanding the psychology behind a woman's behavior after infidelity can provide much-needed, albeit painful, clarity. Women are not as complex as they often pretend to be. Their behavior patterns and tells are remarkably predictable and consistent. One of the first and most noticeable changes is a sudden and intense obsession with her phone. Previously, she might have left it anywhere, but now her phone becomes her constant companion. Now it's surgically attached to her hand, always face down, always within reach. Men, you know what I'm talking about. That moment when she takes her phone with her, even to the bathroom, when she steps into another room to answer texts when she says it's work or just my girlfriend. But the energy feels different, nervous, secretive, protective. Here's what's really happening psychologically. When a woman cheats, her phone becomes a portal to her secret life, and she guards that portal like it contains state secrets. In her mind, it does. Think about it. Every notification could be him. Every buzz could be the excitement she's no longer getting from you. Every message is a hit of dopamine from her new reality. And she knows that if you ever saw those conversations, her world would explode. So she develops phone behaviors that would make CIA agents proud face down on the table, never leaving it unattended. A woman who takes her phone into the shower or sleeps with it under her pillow is likely leading a double life. This isn't merely about concealing conversations. It's about maintaining an emotional connection with another person throughout the day. She's not just hiding evidence, she's safeguarding her link to an excitement absent from your relationship. Observe her reaction to a text. If her face lights up or she smiles before even reading it, it's probably not a work message or a friend. It's likely the person who makes her feel alive in ways you seemingly no longer can. Men, trust your instincts. A dramatic shift in a woman's phone habits often signals a change in her honesty. And once that trust is broken, the phone becomes both her weapon and her prison. Giving her access to her affair while making her paranoid about discovery attitude, to irritation from nowhere. The second attitude, she explodes at the simplest questions. How was your day? What's for dinner? What time will you be home? And she snaps like you just asked for her social security number and you're standing there thinking, what did I do wrong? Nothing. You did absolutely nothing wrong. But her guilty conscience is working overtime. Every question from you feels like an interrogation. Every show of care feels like control. Every normal interaction feels like a threat to her secret world. Here's the female psychology behind this. When a woman is cheating, she's living in constant stress. She's managing 2 realities, 2 sets of emotions, 2 different versions of herself, and that mental load, it's exhausting. So any additional pressure, even innocent questions from you feels like the last straw, but there's something deeper happening here. She's also starting to resent you, for being the good guy, for caring, for asking normal relationship questions. Because every time you show love or concern, it reminds her of what she's destroying, and that reminder makes her angry at herself, but she takes it out on you. It's also a defense mechanism. If she can make you the bad guy, controlling, nosy, suffocating, then she can justify her actions. He doesn't understand me. He's always checking up on me. I can't breathe in this relationship. See how that works? Your normal loving behavior becomes ammunition for her betrayal story. Your care becomes control. Your love becomes a cage. She convinces herself that stepping outside that cage is justified, even necessary. But here's what's really twisted about this attitude. She's training you to stop asking questions. Every explosive reaction teaches you to give her more space, ask fewer questions, demand less transparency. She's conditioning you to enable her betrayal. By making honesty feel like an attack on her freedom, and the most devastating part, You start walking on eggshells in your own relationship. You begin censoring your natural care and concern because you don't want to trigger her. You become complicit in your own deception, tiptoeing around the very woman who should be grateful for your love. So when your wife starts treating basic relationship communication like it's an attack, understand you are not the problem. You are just in the way of her guilt-free cheating narrative, and she needs you to back off so she can continue betraying you in peace attitude. 3. She's glowing, but not because of you. The third attitude is arguably the most painful. She appears happy, confident, attractive, and radiant, but you can sense in your gut that you are not the reason for her glow. Have you experienced this? When your partner is thriving, but you know you're not the source of her growth, evidenced by new clothes and increased time spent on her appearance. She's investing in herself and her looks, but when you compliment her, she reacts strangely, as if you've intruded on something private. This is because she's no longer dressing for you, and your attention now feels like an invasion into her secret, exciting new reality. Here's what's truly happening. Affair energy is intoxicating. It's new, forbidden, dangerous. It makes women feel alive in ways they forgot were possible. That rush of secrecy, the thrill of being desired by someone new, the excitement of stolen moments, it creates a natural high, and that high it shows. She walks differently, talks differently, carries herself with a confidence that seems to come from nowhere, but it's not from nowhere. It's from him. The cruelest part is watching the woman you love transform into her most beautiful, confident self. Knowing another man is the catalyst, she's becoming the woman you fell in love with again, just not for you. She might suddenly become more adventurous, trying new styles, surprising you with unfamiliar energy. A fleeting spark of excitement returns, but it feels artificial. She's drawing from an experience you weren't part of, leading to nights that are both thrilling and strangely detached. The person beside you is physically present, yet the emotional connection feels altered. Her thoughts, feelings, and passions seem directed elsewhere. The heartbreaking psychological truth is not that she's happy about the affair, but rather she's glowing because she finally feels desired again. The attention, the pursuit, the feeling of being wanted, it's intoxicating. To her, you, the faithful husband, have become familiar, predictable, and safe. And that safety has become a drawback. To a woman in an affair mindset feels like death. She craves the chaos, the uncertainty, the emotional roller coaster that comes with forbidden love. Your steady, consistent love can't compete with the adrenaline rush of sneaking around. So when you see that glow, remember it's not about him being better than you. It's about him being different. It's about him being dangerous. It's about him representing everything. Her comfortable life with you isn't, and tragically, that comfort you've provided, that security, that stability, has become the very thing driving her away attitude. Fall the ghost in your bed. Fourth attitude, physical intimacy. When a woman cheats, intimacy with her partner often undergoes a significant shift. There might be a noticeable lack of emotional connection, even if physical intimacy increases. This can manifest as feeling like she's present physically but emotionally distant, with little to no eye contact or the shared intimacy that once existed. Conversely, she might introduce new sexual techniques, prompting questions about their origin. The unsettling truth about female psychology after infidelity is that intimacy becomes complex. The relationship is no longer exclusive. A third party, even if not physically present, can subtly alter her responses in the dynamic in the bedroom. She might seem distant, hesitant, almost as if closeness no longer feels natural. Touch becomes less about connection, more about going through the motions, and you can sense the warmth fading. Other times, the energy shifts in the opposite direction. She might suddenly become more passionate, more adventurous than she's been in years, but there's a strange edge to it, as if she's proving something either to you or to herself. The changes feel deliberate rather than natural. She's performing a role instead of living the moment. And in rare, more unsettling moments, you notice new patterns, unfamiliar touches, unexpected intensity, as though the inspiration came from somewhere else. The physical connection is there, but the emotional thread feels weaker, as if part of her attention is elsewhere. Eye contact becomes fleeting, almost guarded because deep gazes reveal truths she's not ready to share. The bond you once felt in those moments feels thinner, replaced by something polished but distant. It's why some men say they felt more alone after certain nights than they did before. They got presence but not connection, motion but not meaning, closeness in form but not in spirit. And deep down, your body knows, your intuition knows. Even when your mind is making excuses, your soul feels the absence of her soul attitude. 5. Defense without attack, fifth attitude. She's defending herself when you're not even attacking. You tell her, "You look beautiful today." And instead of a smile, you get, "What's that supposed to mean?" "So I didn't look good yesterday." It's subtle at first. A sharp tone here, an unnecessary jab there. But soon you realize something. When a wife is unfaithful, her guilt acts as a filter for every word you speak. A compliment can be perceived as an accusation, and a simple question can feel like an interrogation. Even a pause in conversation can be interpreted as silent judgment, as a guilty conscience is relentless. It's constantly vigilant, searching for any indication that the truth is about to be revealed. Living in deception, she begins to misinterpret your words, hearing confessions you never made, and seeing suspicion in your eyes, even when you only feel love. This is a clear example of psychological projection. Knowing she has crossed a line, she assumes you must be aware of it too. Her mind remains on high alert, analyzing every word for traps and every glance for hidden meanings. That's why she gets defensive before you even ask a real question. She launches into explanations for things you didn't notice. Just in case you might have, she starts fights over nothing because arguments create distance, and distance makes cheating easier. And here's the darker part, she's rewriting the story in her own mind. If she can turn your normal care into control, your reasonable questions into paranoia, and your love into suffocation, then suddenly she's not the villain you are. Why? Because if you are the bad guy, she can justify everything she's doing. I had no choice. He was too controlling. He didn't trust me. I felt trapped. This mental gymnastics allows her to betray you while convincing herself. She's the victim. That's why she'll blow up over dishes in the sink when it never mattered before. Turn a 30-second conversation into a 2-hour argument. Pick fights before date, nights before family events, before moments when closeness would be natural. She's not really mad about the dishes. She's not really mad about the text you sent to your coworkers. She's mad at herself, but she can't face that truth, so she unloads that anger onto you. And over time, you start to feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own home. You censor yourself. You avoid topics. You live in constant low-level tension, not realizing that the hostility isn't coming from you. It's coming from the guilt she's trying to hide attitudes. 6, you became the problem, and the 6th most brutal attitude. Suddenly, all your flaws became unbearable. The way you eat, how you breathe, how you walk. Things that never bothered her before are now driving her crazy men. This isn't about your shortcomings. This is about her justifications. When a woman cheats, she needs to rationalize it somehow. The easiest way make you the villain. He doesn't understand me. He's changed. We've grown apart. The spark is gone. She can't admit that the problem is her choice. So the problem becomes you. Everything you do gets filtered through this new lens of resentment. Your quirks become flaws. Your habits become character defects. Your love becomes suffocation. Here's the psychology cognitive dissonance. She can't reconcile being a good person with doing a bad thing, so she has to rewrite the story. You're not the faithful husband being betrayed. You are the inadequate partner who drove her away. This reframing serves multiple purposes. First, it alleviates her guilt. Second, it justifies her actions. Third, it prepares her emotional exit from the relationship. If you are terrible, then leaving you isn't cruel. It's crucial to be aware of certain shifts in behavior. A woman who is cheated may begin to criticize you more, speak negatively about you to friends, and alter stories about your shared history, transforming them into complaints. Your relationship narrative might become a tragedy where she's the victim and you're the aggressor. She might also start making more overt comparisons between you and other men, saying things like, Sarah's husband would never, or my friend's boyfriend always. These aren't innocent observations. They serve as building blocks for her justification. What she won't admit is that the problem isn't your change, but hers. The final truth is this: a woman who cheats and exhibits these attitudes isn't just betraying you. She's betraying herself. She's destroying her own integrity, her own character, her own capacity for real intimacy. You can't save someone from the consequences of their own choices. What you can do is save yourself, preserve your dignity, protect your peace, and remember that you deserve a love that doesn't require you to ignore your instincts or question your sanity. Write in the comments which attitude hit closest to home. Support each other. Brotherhood matters in moments like these, and remember, you deserve honesty, always. If this video helped you see the truth, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for honest content about relationships and female psychology, and drop your city in the comments. Let's see where my male audience is watching from around the world. Until next time, stay strong, trust your instincts, and never settle for less than you deserve.